So, let me see. As I go through my notes, I'll have to edit on the spot. You know, like I did when I was in college. First of all, thank you, Elliot, Patty, Mayor Cam, Sue, for your wonderful speeches and preparation for this event. Thank you, Patty. And thank you all for attending. Thank you to my family, my sisters, brothers-in-laws, cousins, and relatives from who came from out of town, and many of my friends from the Fremont area, from all around, it seems. Thank you especially to ACLU for this wonderful honor. I am so happy that the stories about the early pioneering Chinese American fishermen and women are being embraced today. It seems that for so long I was trying to tell the story of the village where my grandfather was born in 1881, and people didn't want to talk to me about it. People didn't want to look me in the eye. People would ask me, am I trying to cause trouble? I was offended by that because I felt I was just trying to bring about the history, the truth. And why is it that historians can talk about the Chinese American history on the Monterey Peninsula, but they didn't seem to want me to tell it? And I felt, well, why is that? Is that because I'm Chinese? Is it because I'm a girl? Is it because I'm short? Why can't I? And then for those of you who know me, of course, I'm going to do what I wanted to. So I did. When Sue talked about Feast of Lanterns and the kind of treatment that I received long ago, compared to this year when Kay Coleman, the vice president of Feast of Lanterns, contacted me. I just about fell out of my chair. I was so surprised. And we had several meetings. And it's true, I specifically asked to meet at places that I chose because I didn't feel comfortable, or I didn't feel like I could speak candidly. And so she met where I asked, and then eventually she brought her sister, Joni Birch, to meet me. And we talked, we cried together, we talked about making changes, and I was so surprised that that these ladies were taking a huge step forward in leadership, I feel, in their community. And they were reaching out. I felt they were trying to build a bridge, and they were listening to me, looking at me, because in the past, people wouldn't even look me in the eye to talk to me. But I feel that the Feast of Lanterns, when they give their scholarships out to these young lady princesses, they give it out in hopes that these young women will go out into the world and then eventually come back to the community and make changes in the world. And in my book, these two ladies who were Queen Topazes in the 1990s have come back to the community. They're on the board of Feast of Lanterns, and I am seeing changes. And it is so joyous for me because I began to lose hope that was going to happen. But these girls have really made a difference. They walked a fine line, I know, but they were willing to do it, and I believe that takes courage also. So for all of us, we really have, because you have listened to me and you have been my allies, and we are bringing about change. And I feel that working together, talking together, respecting each other, this is so much different than what we're seeing on TV and the news these days. And I believe that the bonds that we have built could be a model for the world. Right here, our friendships, the willingness to listen and to be proud of each other and try to lift each other up. That is really what's important in the world. And it makes me feel like crying. Let me go back to my notes. So, of course, all the mentioning of Mayor Garcia, Mayor Cam, the NCBI, the Heritage Society of Pacific Grove, the City of Pacific Grove, the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History. Go there and look at their exhibit. Michael Croft, stand up. He built models of the fishing villages. So when you go to the museum, you'll see his fine work. And the research I observed, because I went to his home, and we, of course you know me, we took pictures at every stage of the development of those villages. And his garage was filled with pictures of the village so that it could be so authentic. And so thank you, Michael and Carmelita, for helping to tell that story. Over the years, there have been many individuals also in organizations who help to bring that understanding. And so there's a list in your program of many of the groups who I've worked with, but also the Monterey Public Library, the Monterey Public Library Foundation, and especially the Monterey Bay Lion Dance team that I played cymbals with. I feel that the first time I met Leonard, he asked me when we were at Hopkins Marine Station, the site of the village, did I want him to put the lion's head facing up or facing down? And it was like, I don't know. Put one up and put one down. And I felt that that first time that I experienced the lion dance as the lions, it was like bringing back that story. It was the awakening of the story of that Chinese village. And all my life, growing up on the Monterey Peninsula, I never saw a Chinese lion. My generation didn't experience that. But now, because of funding from the Monterey Community Foundation, who has helped to support, I think, quite a few of the organizations represented here, it really has helped in my book to tell that story. So thank you to that Monterey Community Foundation. Actually, I'm skipping through a lot because I'm like mind-boggled that this is all happening. But Annie Holdren and Janet Cohen, we worked on that interpretive panel that has a picture of the Chinese village where my grandpa was born in 1881. And because of the panel, because of the stories, I even met other relatives who I didn't even know existed. So Peggy and her family, stand up. Yeah, because Peggy's grandmother and my grandmother are sisters, but we didn't know each other until what, two years ago now? 2015. 2 years ago. And we're blood relatives. So, by telling these stories, you never know who you're going to meet. And so the next generations are here too. So I'm really happy that the next generations are here, because you need to hear the story and learn about it so that you guys can tell those stories too. But it's just amazing that I met other relatives also who are descendants of the village who we didn't know. And actually today, can anybody who is a descendant of the village, can you stand up? I think there could be even other relatives who, people who are not relatives, but who are descendants. Ron, and my sisters, and of course Amber and Brandon get two men. But I think that if I don't push people to stand up, you won't know who is the descendant, because everybody's shy. And so I have to teach them not to be shy. Let's see. So I want to also thank all the many volunteers and performers who, over the years, have helped me to tell the story, and for the Monterey Bay Chinese Association. So many members of your organization have come forward and had tea ceremonies, or had, they're so talented musically, with instrument, with their voices, dancing, really a lot of talent there, and a lot of people who are interested in this story. And Jenna and Weiwei have come from they belong to the and I belong to the U.S.-China People's Friendship Association. And through the current president, she had heard about a group of 7th and 8th graders who were coming to visit from China. They traveled to Los Angeles. They were going to ride a bus north to San Francisco. And Winnie Lin was able to contact China, the education department that was sending these students, and got permission for them to stop at the boulder in Pacific Grove. They heard about the story from Winnie. They wanted to see the boulder. They asked me to come and greet them. But I don't speak Chinese, so I contacted Han Wei from the Monterey Bay Chinese Association and another professor from both from DLI. They came to help. And so I can see that through the many allies I have, there are ways to bring people together. And the fact that that story reached China only a few months after it was installed told me that that boulder was really doing its job. So we need to put in more of these boulders or plaques to tell people, because as I'm down on Cannery Row, and thank you Cannery Row Foundation, but I see busloads of Chinese people getting off the bus. And you know me, so I have my flyer in my purse, and I just go right up to them. And I know some of them think, oh no, don't take a flyer from the stranger. But other people will stop and listen. And recently when I was down there, I was standing in front of the monument that I helped to interpret the Chinese fishermen on the Cannery Row Monument. And I was telling this a Chinese lady about the Chinese history, and she said she didn't know anything about Chinese history in Monterey. And so we talked. I said, do you want to come to the aquarium and see my show that I was in? I had a pass and we went in. I just went in with stranger. But it's fun to help to educate people and surprise people about that history. I just, let's see. Well, I just want to say I have been honored to work with all you allies in this room and beyond to bring about what I have been calling change with kindness. Change with kindness. Change with kindness. I have visualized and hoped for change with kindness for so long, and now it has embraced us all. I am joyous. It is because of your open hearts, your awareness, your understanding, your recognition of racial injustice, your efforts to lend your voice, your time, your support, your courage, your encouragement, your convictions, and your empowerment. It's because of all that we are here today. Others who I was once afraid of, I now consider as my friends as we collaborate together to tell the stories of our Chinese American ancestors and their villages. It is through meeting with each other, listening to each other, crying together, and working with each other together and cooperatively to build bridges of understanding and respect that the process for change began, and our early pioneering Chinese American ancestors and their fishing village stories will continue because we believe in the truth and we believe in each other. Our story is a poignant and compelling American story. I'm going to end this with a card sentiment that I began reading to people many, many years ago, but I was going through some notes and I saw this card again, and this phrase is very important to me anyway, and it speaks to you. Our lives are woven by the weavers of the time in a pattern we cannot see. During our incredible journey through time, it helps to believe and have faith in the tapestry of life and that it is unfolding just the way it was meant to. Flavia. So, aura of good fortune, and I thank you all for coming and for bestowing these awards and gifts to me. I really appreciate it all. Thank you. And what a surprise, Randy. Oh my gosh.